Hey guys, first of all, before I even start this video, I just want to apologize for looking like a complete homeless person. Between this weekend and how drained and exhausted and crazy I was. You know, today being Monday, I still was having a rough time completely being grounded and just centered and focused on today and what I had to do today. I was still totally in my zone from this weekend. So forgive me for looking a hot mess. I'll still pull off a hot mess though, but whatever. So this video is just going to talk about the fact that I did a psychic reading for this girl yesterday. It was by accident, and it was my first time just tuning in, completely and totally tuning in to somebody else and just sensing things that I felt the need to express. And because I was guided to express what I was getting in terms of just my intuition and my gut, it was more powerful, I feel. I mean, since coming home from the Mind, Body, Spirit Expo and the meditation that I did at Lisa Williams, I'm telling you, this meditation that I did, it shifted me. It shifted me into another dimension in terms of my level of consciousness and how deep I've been getting in terms of just my connection with my higher power and spirit and my intuitive awareness. It jumped like 20 levels this weekend. So I went to the mall yesterday, and on the way to the mall, for whatever reason, I was getting closer and closer and closer to the mall. I was like maybe a half mile away, and for whatever reason I felt like I was going to meet a girl. There was a female. I felt the female energy, and I felt as if she was going to be someone I haven't met yet. The first 2, 3, 4, 5 times I've been to this store in the past couple months that I've been buying crystals, I've only spoken and talked to one person who works there. I forget her name. She's some kooky lady. And I don't know why, but this morning I felt I was going to meet another employee, and this employee was going to be a woman, and she was going to be able to guide me and give me insight. I just felt as though there was going to be a connection, and I grabbed my phone, and having the intense, not even explaining it, but having had the intense experience at Lisa Williams the night before, waking up and just immediately on the way to the mall feeling this intense about nothing. I mean, you know, without thinking about it, I felt the need to record my impression. So I recorded on my phone the fact that I was just feeling this, and whether I was going to be right or wrong, it's just the way I felt, and I felt the need to express it. So I walked into the store, and I immediately saw a girl behind the counter who I'd never seen working there. I walked up to her, I introduced myself, and almost 2 hours later, she is not only intuitive and aware like me, but she's me if I had been working for quite some time. So she's developed her gifts too. And I was so excited to see someone new, because the second I saw her face, I knew that my impressions on my way there were right, just immediately, without even talking to her. I just saw her and knew it. So I started talking to her about crystals and ghosts and you know, meditation and my experience and what I'm going through and how I have no control right now. My thing is right now that I have no control. Once I'm getting higher into my plane, like every meditation I do and every time I call on my spirit guide to come through with my white light and my energy and my focus, and I get stronger in my intent in every meditation, the higher and higher I'm being brought in terms of spirit plane, and the higher consciousness that I'm getting, the harder it is for me to come down back to earth and get grounded afterwards. And so I started venting to her, saying, you know, I've been looking for a mentor, and I've been looking for someone to help guide me in my control of this energy. Because now that I've opened the doors, I don't know how to sort of tune out from them and shut them off and tune them down when I'm done in terms of meditation or whatever I've been tuning into Mel for. I end up on on a crazy, it feels psychotic almost, my mentality and my energy, because I don't know how to lower the vibration. So I started telling her about that, and she just, she gave me the most insight I've had since probably, I'm going to say, I mean, obviously since seeing Lisa Williams, but in terms of one-on-one connection and real talk about spirituality and the sort of sharing of ideas, I haven't had an experience like this since the psychic I saw before my mom died. So she was really, really cool. I'm so excited that my intuition was dead on. And long story short, she had an Asian friend there, and this girl just stood there and she just watched us have our conversation. And midway through, you know, I actually, if I remember correctly, I said a few times, you know, I turned to her and I said, I'm so sorry for interrupting your conversation, because I just felt as though she was there visiting and I was sort of taking up her time. And she wasn't defensive towards me at all, in her energy as well as in her actual vocal, you know, responses to me. There was no defensiveness. She was listening to what we were talking about, and she was taking it in. And, you know, I ignored it. I didn't ignore it. I acknowledged it, but I allowed myself to just brush it off, because that's just what I thought I needed to do. So, hour and a half after I'm there, I'm wandering around the store, and, you know, I'm bringing different objects from the store back to this, you know, the owner behind the counter, and we're just talking and schmoozing about different things. I just all of a sudden felt the need to turn to this girl. Her name is Kelly, the little Asian friend who's still standing there for whatever reason. I just felt the need to turn to her and just start spitting out what I had to say. I didn't know why I had to say it, but I just did, and I did it. And I allowed it to come through. So I turned to her and I go, you know, do you work with crystals? Are you familiar with crystals? And she started telling me about how she has this piece of crystal that she bought online. It's a piece of rose quartz, and it was shaped in a heart, and she bought it because she felt as though it would help her get over her ex-boyfriend. Her and her ex-boyfriend had a big breakup. She bought this piece of crystal, and as she's telling me the story, she reaches into her pocket and she pulls out her palm like this, and there's two halves of the rose quartz heart broken in half in her hand as she's telling me this. And at that point, as soon as I saw the broken crystal in my mind's eye, I started tuning into why, why the crystal was broken, and I knew instinctively rose quartz was not the crystal for her. For whatever reason, I have not worked with rose quartz. Actually, it's interesting because for some reason, rose quartz is another common one, like your amethyst and your citrine. And for me personally, I haven't felt the need to go look at rose quartz right now, for whatever reason. Obviously, it's not a stone that I need to be working with right now. But intuitively, as soon as she showed me the stone, I flashed in my mind's eye, I asked Mel because as soon as I saw it broken, I knew there was significance to it being broken. So I immediately closed my eyes and, Mel, give me the stone she needs to be working with. Just in my mind's eye. It took me literally like 2 or 3 seconds to do this as she's telling me this. So all of a sudden, I just saw green aventurine in my mind's eye, like here, across my forehead. I just saw green aventurine. And green aventurine is, again, another stone that I have not worked with yet. It's a stone that I picked up actually last week with no intention of going shopping for it. I've come across it in my research of other stones, but I've never felt drawn to buy a piece. I've never felt the need to read or understand, or I don't want to say care about the properties, but I've never felt the need to sort of develop the properties of a green aventurine. So, in my mind's eye, I said, Mel, give me a stone, give me the stone she needs to be working with. Instead of this rose quartz, obviously the rose quartz is not working, which I immediately picked up from just the fact that it broke. And I just asked him, what stone should she be using? Green aventurine. So I turned to her, I said, for whatever reason, I feel as though you need to go get a piece of green aventurine. I said, I don't know if you know what green aventurine is, but it's just the feeling I'm getting as though you need to do some healing. And this is literally what I said to her. And, you know, I'm not familiar with the exact perfect, you know, properties of aventurine. I know it's a semi-healer, but the fact that it came to me and I just started spitting out these things, these are things that I was not conscious of. These are things that were just coming to me. So I start telling her, you know, green aventurine, and she reaches into another pocket in her jeans and she pulls out a piece of green aventurine, a heart, a matching heart to the rose quartz that she had bought. And she pulls it out and she shows this to me and she goes, this is a piece of green aventurine that I bought with my rose quartz. And inside me, I was so excited, and like, this was the first time I've tuned in and expressed and just thoughtlessly, without meticulously sort of processing what I was feeling. This is the first time I've tuned in with someone else and allowed just whatever I was getting in my flow to come through, and it was confirmed between the rose quartz and the green aventurine. And so I just got so excited, and I started telling her, you know, green aventurine, I feel as though it's going to bring you healing, it's going to bring you peace. I don't know what happened between you and the boy, but he's not the guy for you. Your rose quartz is literally running away from you, okay? She told me about a rose quartz bracelet that she had bought, that literally exploded a day or two after she bought it, and the stones went everywhere, she said. And you know, immediately I just, there's a reason why the stone isn't agreeing with you, okay? Your rose quartz is a stone that will enhance love, it will enhance relationships, it'll strengthen bonds and togetherness and unity and balance. And the fact that they had broken up and there's no more balance, I mean, I don't know this girl from Adam, but this is the energy I was getting. The fact that they're no longer together and the fact that there's been a separation there was why I felt as though the rose quartz is literally running away from her. It's running away from her because it's not the stone that she needs to be using. So, I mean, this is the first reading I've ever done. This is the first time I've ever sort of instinctively approached somebody and just gave them what I was getting in terms of messages and my feelings and my senses. And every single moment and every single feeling that I got was dead on. And I'm just so grateful. I'm just so grateful to be tuned in the way I am. I don't know if it was the expo. I don't know if it was these meditations that I've been doing this past week. It's, you know, it could be Mercury retrograde right now, which is going to be going on until the 22nd. I don't know what it is, but there's some doors that have been opened, and I'm so excited to just continue these connections. So I just wanted to tell you guys about my first psychic reading. I don't want to say like calling myself a psychic, like I don't see myself as a psychic. I just see myself as another energy life force on this planet, and I'm so happy to be able to tune into that and to tune into my higher power and to allow and to channel you know, my guides and those watching over me and giving me the instinct and the direction and guidance that I need. So that's really it. I just wanted to express that to you guys. I was talking to a friend of mine about it today at work, and she was like, you need to make a video about this. Like, you're, from last week until today, you're a completely different person. I did a tarot reading for her, and I instinctively read the cards for the very first time. Instead of looking them up in a book, I asked my spirit guide to just help me pull out meanings of the cards, and I didn't use my book at all, and she got the most intense reading she's ever gotten. So that's what made me do this video. I've been developing, you guys, so I will keep you posted. Again, I thank you for watching.